So, hello everyone, and here we are back with a new playthrough of Escape the Dark Castle. I actually made a mistake last time, and that was that I drew too many cards after a fight. Apparently you only draw one after combat, not one per person or per player really. Yeah. So, what we're going to do is we're going to play again. This time we're going to play the cook and the tailor. I've set up our dungeon randomly, so these are cards I would not have seen before. On the first, before we first start, everyone gets 18 hit points because we have 2 characters, and each one draws 1 card. So that each one starts with 1 item. Also, there's an item limit of 2 per character. So let's see what we get. I've also added a first player token, or the U token, because as you know, you all have to make a decision as a group who turns over the next chapter card and is responsible for taking the brunt of any thing that happens to the U capital letters player. So since it's me and only me, I've decided to add a first player token, which I took from Descent First Edition, and I'm going to give it to the cook. So let's draw 1 item for the cook. He gets a liquid luck potion, discard to reroll your character die, applying only the second result. And our tailor gets the replication stones relic. Whenever you roll a single, it counts as 2 singles of that trait. Those are very good cards. Let's see. We turn over and begin. We get the chest, so that's where we find the treasure. And we now need to turn to the first chapter because we must not linger here. There is trouble and we need to get away. So let's see. The cook is the first player. 2 deformed thugs are debating the best way to kill and eat another man when they notice your arrival. Nominate a player to roll wisdom or a double in 1 attempt. Success. The attackers flee and the victim rewards you from his nearby stash. Each player may either gain 1 hit point or 1 item card. Failure, the attackers kill the man and turn on you, licking their lips and looking you up and down. Let's hope that we can manage this. Wisdom, the tailor would be best suited because the cook's wisdom is 1. Let's see what happens. And she doesn't roll wisdom, she rolls cunning. So that didn't work. So now these guys are going to attack us. These cards stick. We get 1 cunning. And we have to roll 2 more dice. And we roll 1 more cunning and 1 wisdom. Let the cook go first. And the cook rolls 2 might, which doesn't really help, but he at least defends. So no problem there. Sorry. The tailor rolls her die and she rolls a wisdom, so she manages to get rid of this one, but she does take 2 wounds, so she's now at 16. The cook goes again. He again rolls 2 might. She rolls 2 cunning and she defeats them. We get 1 card only this time round, and it's a rotten apple. We're going to discard this straight away because we do have an item limit, and it's always good to have hit points restored, so she's going to eat this and she's back up at 17. We will leave the first player token with the cook. Let's see what else we come across. Ooh, very nice. You hear a scream from behind and turn around too late to avoid the clutches of a lurching ghoul. As a group, choose 1 option. You get away, but you lose, the cook, 2 hit points, shaking off the ghoul. Or, that would be fleeing. Or you fight, begin combat. You are so fear-struck that any wisdom you roll this chapter has no effect. No, we're gonna fight. We're heroes. We are running away from and trying to escape the dungeon, but we are heroes after all. Haha. Might and 2 wisdom. The cook goes first, let's see. And he does roll wisdom, which of course doesn't help him this time around, so we're going to use the liquid lunch, so to speak. And we're going to roll this one again. And he rolls might. But he does take 2 if we don't manage to get to wisdom now. We get 1, so that didn't work, so he's down to 16 and she's down to 15. He rolls again. Oh, well, he doesn't really have to roll, but he does roll a defense. And she rolls, okay, again, that didn't work, 13. Oh, when you roll a single, it counts as 2 singles of that trait. The tailor rolls, so we, yeah. Okay, they both take, okay, that was a bad choice on my part. Let's see. Might. Wisdom. Okay, she does it. Destroyed. Get 1 card. Stale loaf of bread. Discard to restore 2 hit points to a character. Let's see. The tailor needs it the most. She's down to 11. I also learned that apparently if one of the heroes dies, the game ends. I'm not going to play it this way. I do understand why you would do this if you had more than 1 player, because otherwise, you know, there would be downtime and they would just be sitting around. But since I play on my own, I will keep going until both of them are dead. This passageway suddenly fills with harsh whispered curses. Flames leap from the wall-mounted torches to take on the form of a demonic warrior. Tongues of arcane fire surging from its charred skull. As a group, choose 1 option. There's an error on this card. This should be in bold. We're gonna run. Yeah, we're gonna run because that's a terrible demon. So he takes 2 wounds and he's down to 12. Sometimes you just have to give up. You emerge into a small sandy arena. In the center, a woman far taller and more muscular than yourself raises her well-worn blade and calls out, "Challengers, prepare to die." Oh my god. Begin combat. Combat special. Before each round of combat, nominate 1 player to fight the arena champion. Only that player rolls and only that player takes damage. You must fight in the first round. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. 1 might, 2 wisdom, and 2 cunning. Okay, so the cook goes first because he has to. He's you. And he rolls 1 might. So that's it. He now takes 1 damage because she can't do anything. So now what we're going to do is the cook's going to rest and she's going to try and fight her. She rolls 2 and defends. He rests and gets, I think, 1 hit point back. Yeah, so he's up to 12. Since this is wisdom and she's really the best person to roll for this, we're going to go with the tailor again. She rolls not what she should have rolled. She didn't roll any wisdom, but that's fine because she did defend. Just going to do it again. Haha, done. And he's up to 14. Okay, we draw 1 item card and we get a warped cudgel, 1-handed weapon. Once per round of combat, when you roll might, you may roll again and choose which of the 2 results to apply. We're going to give this to the cook. And the cook's going to stay on point and we're going to turn over. The aroma of hot food has led you to the kitchens. On a table near the door is a steaming meat pie. As a group, choose 1 option. It's not worth the risk. Move on. Steal. Nominate a player to roll 2 cunning in 3 attempts. Success, the pie is delicious and filling. All players gain 1 hit point. Failure, the cook catches you and vows to make you filling for his next batch. Yeah, we're going to try this. The tailor's going to roll. She rolls wisdom, that didn't work. She rolls 2 cunning. We get 1 hit point back each, so we're now on 14 and 15 respectively. Let's move on. At the end of this winding passage, a wooden chest covered in cobwebs is protected by several vicious-looking traps. As a group, choose one option. Move on, it's not worth the risk. Risk it, nominate a player to try and retrieve items from the chest. They must roll cunning in 1 attempt and may try this as many times as there are players. Okay, no, we're not gonna do that. That's too dangerous, actually. However, she's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, we're going to do it after all. And she rolls 2 cunning. So we get 2 item cards, 2 on a double cunning. Liquid luck. Discard to reroll your character die. Hang on. Yeah, character die, yeah. And the Fury Shard. Relic. When you roll a double in combat, you may roll a second time, applying both results. Okay, we're going to give this to him. And we're going to give this to her. And we're going to move on. He's on point. To enter this door, you are forced to push aside thick, thorn-covered vines. They spring to life, binding your wrists and hauling you into the thicket beyond. You lose 1 hit point. The cook's down to 14. Hacking at the aggressive weeds eventually causes them to recede through cracks in the old stone walls, leaving behind the belongings of previous victims. Draw 2 item cards. That's not what you want to hear when you're completely done already. Okay, so I'm gonna eat this, and I'm gonna discard this, and I'm just gonna rule that since I'm not carrying it, it's fine. 1 is gonna go to the tailor. She's at 15, and let's move on. Ha! Vampire bats. Without warning, a swarm of giant bats bursts into the passageway. You can only cower beneath the overwhelming blur of wing and fang. As the bats swarm past, each player in turn must roll their character die along with 3 chapter dice. After rolling, a player loses 1 hit point for each chapter die that matches their character die. Okay, so we're going to go first. The tailor rolls might. And she rolls 3 chapter dice, and we have 2 cunning and 1 wisdom. A player loses 1 hit point for each chapter die that matches their character die. That doesn't happen. Okay. Let's see what the cook does. He rolls 2 might. And it's a double, so even if we were to roll something that's, yeah, he does roll 2 might and 1 wisdom on the chapter dice, but since he has a double, nothing happens. He is fine. Let's keep moving. You wipe dust from the lid of a large tomb, hoping to read its inscription. At your touch, the lid slides open, and a giant knight rises, bellowing that you should not have disturbed him. As a group, choose one option. As you run, you are hacked by the revenant. You lose 3 hit points. Or you fight against 3, and all players may fight as normal, but you, in this case the cook, are the only player the giant attacks, and you may not rest. We're gonna fight, because I don't want to take 3 hit points. I think we can do better than that. So let's roll. 1 might, 1 cunning, and he gets 1 wisdom to begin with. We're gonna start with the tailor, who rolls 2, which was good. Next up is the cook, and he rolls 1 might, and he takes 2 wounds, down to 12. So now it's the tailor again, and she rolls the cunning we need. We're done, and we draw 1 card. And it is effervescent evasion. When you take damage, discard to avoid that damage. We're going to switch this out for the liquid luck potion, because avoiding damage is very important. Aha! This chamber is flanked by caves and littered with gnawed bones. A guttural growl rings out as something emerges. As a group, choose 1 option and begin combat. Tackle the beast head on, 2 dice, or use hit and run tactics, 5 dice. This one will give us 3, and this one will give us 2 damage. We're going to go for hit and run. We're going to use the head on. Let's see, we get 1 might and 1 wisdom. We're going to let the cook go first. He rolls 1 might, and now we have the tailor going. And she gets, haha, that was that. We draw 1 card, and we get a sword. Decayed blade. Once per round of combat, when you roll wisdom, you may roll again and choose which of the 2 results to apply. Yeah, we're not going to take this. We're going to move on. This time, you is the tailor, because she's 15 points left. Aha! Hurrying into this candlelit chamber, you interrupt a sacrificial ceremony. A robed man in a death mask declares that you must now be sacrificed. Begin combat. Combat special. You are overcome with fear. Any doubles you roll this chapter count as singles, and you cannot block. Okay. She's going to start. She rolls 1 cunning, but whenever you roll a single, it counts as 2 singles of that trait. Next up is the cook. He rolls a double. He can use his ability, his shard. When you roll a double in combat, you may roll a second time, and both results are applied. So first of all, he does away with this one. Let's hope that he gets a wisdom. And he does. This is unbelievable. Great. Let's draw 1 more card. Infested cheese wheel. Discard to restore 1 hit point to all characters. Like, seriously, we will do that. Here we are. Everybody gets 1 back. 16 and 13. Okay. The tailor keeps going in front of everyone else. Okay. You ascend a narrow spiral staircase, emerging onto a windswept bell tower. As you cross the tower, the bell swings into life, its dreary peal shaking your very bones. Any player who cannot roll wisdom or a double in 1 attempt loses 2 hit points as the sound begins to drive them insane. Okay, she didn't. So she's gonna discard her potion to not lose any damage, and let's see what he can do. And he rolls 2 might, but he rolls doubles, so he's safe. Let's keep going. At the end of this passage is an old stone wall. As you reach in to test the water, it thrashes into a violent torrent. You have disturbed a malevolent spirit. Begin combat. Combat special. You are incapacitated for the first round of combat, during which you do not fight and you may not rest, but still take damage as normal. You recover at the beginning of the second round. Okay, let's prepare. We've got 1 wisdom, 1 cunning, 2 additional dice, 1 more wisdom and 1 more cunning. Let's roll. He rolls 1 might. Once per round of combat, when you roll might, you may roll again and choose which of the 2 results to apply. And we do this again. It's might, so they both take 2 damage. 11, 14. Let's try this again. Now she gets to go. She rolls 2 plus shields. That's fine. And now he gets to go. And he rolls might. He can do it again. And he rolls 1 cunning. Very good. But he still takes 2 damage. 1 more. He rolls might. He rolls again. And he rolls the remaining cunning. We get to take 1 card. Rengorn's Rune. Whenever you roll a double on, you may change it to any single. Excellent. Let's get going. She's going to still keep on point. In this sweltering chamber, a blacksmith is forging a sword. He is so absorbed in his craft that you spot an opportunity to steal from him. No, we're not going to do this because we can't carry anything at the moment anyway, and we might actually not make it, and we only have 2 more chapters to go. A creature stitched together using butchered animal parts scuttles towards you. It is so hideous and you instinctively lash out. Begin combat. But you get to make 1 attack before the first round, taking no damage. Combat special. The first time this creature is defeated before drawing an item card, roll a chapter die. If the result is might, it regenerates. You must restart combat and defeat it a second time. Okay, so first we're going to generate its defense. We've got 2 wisdom and 1 might. The tailor gets to roll. Haha. Now that's what I call luck. So now we do this again. Let's see. Warp cudgel. When you roll a double, that didn't help, and it wasn't what we wanted, so that didn't work. Let's see. Ha, and she also doesn't get what we wanted. So we're down to 13 and 8. Let's roll again. Whenever you roll a double, you may change it to any single. She changes it to might. So now we need to roll a chapter die. And it is not might, so it doesn't regenerate. We draw 1 more card. Let's see what it is. Effervescent evasion. When you would take damage, discard to avoid that damage. We can't take it. We're going to not exchange anything. We have come to the end. Let's see who we are facing. Terror of the Underworld. Pain only makes me stronger. At the end of each round, if Terror of the Underworld has not been defeated, he grows in strength. Roll a chapter die and add it to the row of remaining dice. This is terrible, but we'll see. First of all, let's roll 2 random dice. We get 2 might. And another might. And 1, 2, 3 cunning. Let's get started. Taylor. Rolls 2 eyes. Okay. He takes 3 wounds. He's down to 5. And we add 1 die. And it's a might. 4 might. Let's get started. He rolls an eye that doesn't help. She gets to roll. She rolls doubles. And she could change it to 1 single. But that wouldn't... Yeah, Yeah, she's going to do this like so. She's going to remove this. We're going to re-roll this. It's going to be a wisdom. And everybody takes 2 wounds. Okay, let's try this again. Come on, you should be able to do might. It's what you do. I don't believe it. Again. For might. 9 1. Yeah, no, we're not going to do it. Ha. At least he gets a shield, but we add 1. 5 might. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so he rolls 2 might, they go away, and he gets to re-roll this, and he gets the second one as well. And it's 2 eyes. That's fine. He's at least shielded. And she's shielded as well, so we're just going to add 1 more die. Might again. He rolls 1 might. And she rolls 1 might as well. Whenever you roll a single, it counts as 2 singles of that trait. So we roll 1 more die. It's again a might. So she's down to 7. He's down to she's down to 4 actually. Oh, actually I think she's down to 1. I made a mistake there. Yeah, he's dead. Okay, well, we've lost. Unfortunately, I counted this as 3, but I think you kind of get an idea of how the game plays. I have to say I like it. First of all, I like even the feel of the dice. They are really chunky. They are heavy, hefty dice. You know, this is what dice rolling should be about. You know, I don't know if they would work in my dice tower. They might actually get stuck, but they're just really lovely dice. The idea that each challenge has like this component where you roll 1 chapter die per player to add an unknown component, a luck component. I really like that. I also like that each character is different in the abilities that they have, which are represented by these dice. So it's simple in its mechanics. But just because mechanics are simple doesn't mean that it's boring or it's childish. I like the fact that these mechanics are really, really elegant. It is not really a game that you get invested in. You don't have character progression. It's over in, I don't know how much time we've spent on this. The camera doesn't tell me. But I guess probably 20 minutes or something, half an hour. And it's not one of the games that you will probably remember. So when you go through this, it's not like this epic struggle and, oh, do you remember when we met the terror of the underworld and John rolled this and Sarah rolled that? I don't think this is the kind of game. It's the kind of game that you break out when you have half an hour to kill and you just want to get some dungeon crawling. And for that, it's really good. You have enough characters to play with several people. I used to play Miller and Taylor, so this time I played Taylor and Cook. And we were quite successful, I would say. We did a good job. But it is tough. I mean, it's not easy to win. This is now my 4th game and I haven't won a single one. That's fine. It's one of the ones where you kind of go, oh yeah, I'd like to play again today, and you're happy to break it out. You don't get frustrated if you don't win. At least I don't get frustrated if I don't win. You know, there are sometimes games where you spend so much time and then you don't, you lose in the end, or you have an outcome that was kind of annoying. And you kind of wonder, was it worth it? In this case, since it plays so quickly, it's a little bit like the D&D games, the D&D board games. They usually play quite quickly in 1 to 2 hours, depending on the number of players and depending on the scenario. But, you know, they're completely luck-based. There is no strategy. Like here, there's no strategy involved. You don't get to choose your starting items. You only get to choose your characters, which kind of modify the die rolling a little bit, but other than that, it's completely luck based. So it's old school, which is good because everybody knows that this is what you get when you buy this game. And you just have 30 minutes to spare. I'm not sure, I don't think I would get the expansion because I think the expansion is also over 20 quid, and it's just, I think, 2 more bosses and was it 20 or so chapter cards or 30? I find it a bit expensive. So if they said, okay, the expansion comes like in a flat envelope type thing and it's £10, okay. But it comes in a box, which I think is kind of like a waste of space, really. And of course the box makes it more expensive. I think if they wanted to expand this one, what they should do is what Fantasy Flight Game does with the Lord of the Rings or the other card games, the LCGs, where you get those little packs, so they could have a pack of this size and just say, okay, we're gonna, you know, sell this for £10 and then have like 3 or 4 of these, and I would buy them. But there is already one expansion out and it comes in a box, and I simply wouldn't pay for getting another box. But maybe they will come to the conclusion that actually just releasing cards in an envelope type thing is enough, and then I'm pretty sure I would buy an expansion. I think it's on sale now. I saw it in one of my local game stores, but it's online game stores, but it's already sold out there. But I bought this one straight from Themeborn on their website, and you can go there and hopefully it's available there as well. There was a Kickstarter version which is slightly different than this version. It's also slightly different. It doesn't contain the expansion, but it seems to contain 1 more die and 1 more additional item, which the die is for. But other than that, I don't know very much about the Kickstarter. But if you're old school dungeon crawl type, over in 20 to 30 minutes, easy to set up, easy to play, easy to forget, just to kill some time, this is your game. And I wish you all a happy evening. Bye-bye.